I snagged this sewing machine table off of Facebook Marketplace for absolutely free. So of course I have to give it a makeover. However, if you are not into painting any kind of furniture, this video is just not for you. But I like to paint furniture, so that is what I did with this. So first I grabbed this jar of Bear chalk paint from Home Depot. This is in the color dark navy. Since I am using chalk paint, there was no sanding prior to painting this table. All I did was just wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol to clean and sanitize it, and then just began applying the paint. When applying chalk paint, you want to make sure that you don't have too thick of a consistency on your paintbrush, because that could lead to dripping and it will just lead to thicker spots in certain places. However, if dripping does occur, that's okay. Once it dries, you could always sand over it later on. But usually when painting furniture, the first coat doesn't always come out with a full coverage, so you usually have to do 2 coats when painting furniture. So as always, you want to paint the first coat before applying the second coat, and then once I had everything completely covered, I just allowed that to thoroughly dry. So this piece was pretty cool. Obviously there was a hole in the center of it because that is where the sewing machine would be placed. I like that there was like a little table on the side, so I decided to do something pretty cool with this later on in the video. But once that paint was completely dry, I just went around the surface with a piece of sandpaper and just sanded the paint nice and smooth. And I also sanded it to where you could kind of see some of the natural wood peeking through. I really like that rustic farmhouse look, so that is why I did that. And then to seal and protect the paint, I went over it with some Waverly Antique Wax, just put some on a paper towel, and then just began applying it all throughout the table. Now for this next part, please do not come at me for painting the top part completely blue, because I ended up changing my mind and I wanted to do something with the top of this, and I know it was a waste of paint, but that is what crafting is all about. You end up changing your mind for some things and your mind starts to wander, and that is okay. So I ended up wanting to do a Betsy Ross American flag. So using my Cricut machine, I cut out the stars using some Oracle 631 vinyl, using some Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster with a cut up sponge. I just dabbed that paint onto the stencil, and then using some blue painter's tape, I want to make sure that I am protecting those stars. And then I began applying some more blue painter's tape going horizontally. Just place the tape down where you want it. Use another piece to use as a spacer, and then another piece underneath that, and then just continue doing that all throughout the top of the table. And again, I am using Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, using a cut up sponge to apply the paint on. I'm just doing this in a dabbing motion to prevent any kind of bleeding. And I also like how this actually came out. I think it looks nice and weathered, which is exactly what I was going for. Go ahead and peel off that blue painter's tape. Allow that paint to completely dry. You want to save those pieces of blue painter's tape because you're going to use them anyways to cover up the white stripes. And then once those white stripes were covered with more blue painter's tape, I then am going to be using Waverly chalk paint in the color Liqueur. And again, just using a cut up Dollar Tree sponge to apply this color all throughout. Go ahead and let that completely dry, and then start peeling off that blue painter's tape. And look at how awesome this looks. Now again, I like the weathered look, so again, I went around this with my sanding block and just kind of sanded around the edges of the table. And then to seal and protect it, I used Waverly clear wax. And if you want to leave this outside, I highly recommend to get a outdoor sealer from Home Depot or any hardware store. So now this could be a cute outdoor accent piece, or you could put some of your favorite beverages inside of a metal or plastic container and put it inside of where that sewing machine would be. And there you go, guys. I hope this inspires you guys to kind of get out of your comfort zone and start to flip some of the furniture that you have or that you will find. If this did, please be sure to sprinkle the love. Thank you so, so much. And I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.